All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there was a very interesting conversation that happened over on X recently from the CEO of CI Games, which is the one who developed Lords of the Fallen. Like, if you guys are aware, I made a video talking about some of his comments prior regarding the whole DEI in gaming and whatnot. And just recently, he put up a poll that had a lot of people talking. And it basically exposed what everybody already knew for the answer, which is nobody likes DEI in gaming and nobody likes some of the smaller features that kind of go under the radar like body type A and body type B. Nobody likes that stuff either. And now there was a recent poll that the CEO just put up himself, which, by the way, I believe that this man has a lot of woke people probably following him, or at least up until recently anyway. But he put up a poll, and when he put up this poll, it showcased that 90% plus of people do not want body type A and body type B in their video games. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Hypnotic, why is this important? I don't understand. Why do we care about what this poll from a CEO has to say? Well, quite frankly, we care because number one, he put up this poll for a reason, which we're about to get into. And number two, it sparks the conversation. If developers know this information, if developers pretty much knew this since before this poll even happened, why did they continue to do body type A and body type B in the first place? If they knew that this was a thing, and I'm telling you they did, why do this at all? So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Polls. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So again, the headline reads, new poll sees gamers overwhelmingly reject body type A and body type B options, and they want male and female instead. Gamers reject the recent trend of developers removing male and female options in favor of body type A and body type B, or in an even more simple sense, 1 and 2. Marek, the CEO of CI Games, the developer of Lords of the Fallen, has polled his followers after a player requested the game remove Type A and Type B from the game and return it to male and female. He responded to the request stating, "Good point. Let us look deeper into that." Now, one thing I want to say is that when I made a video talking about this particular CEO, I mentioned that the game had body type A and body type B, and I had some comments on my video saying that that's not true, that I was lying, that the game didn't have body type A and body type B, and lo and behold, it did, right? And I mean, like, I played the fucking game, so I understand what's in it. Perhaps they got confused with the original Lords of the Fallen, because remember, there's two Lords of the Fallen. There's the new one and there's the older one by the same exact name. So perhaps they got a little bit confused. But the body type A and body type B is 100% in the newer game. And if you don't know that, then you didn't play it. Now, when it comes to the CEO, I gotta admit, I feel like he already knew this information. I feel like this is a little bit of a disingenuous poll, and let me explain. Quite frankly, this CEO, when you put out this poll, you must know the answer that you're going to get. I mean, you got to live under a rock if you genuinely believe that most people are going to vote for body type A and body type B. When he put up this poll, I'm going to show you the picture of the poll in a second. When he put up this poll, it was almost 90%. It was like 89 point some odd percent when I last checked. Now, here's the reason why he put up this poll. He put up this poll because he's claiming to be player first, and I totally get it. This is the mantra that they're going with now. This is where a lot of studios are trying to turn themselves into. They're trying to say they're player focused, and they're doing it because it's good PR right now. They already know that the conversation right now is not very good around DEI, and so they're shifting focus and trying to pretend to be player focused. Some of them might be pretending, some of them might not be pretending. I don't think this guy necessarily is pretending completely. I just think that he knows how to read the room, and he's doing things that he was going to do anyway, and he knows how to make it into a spectacle that's going to bring him good press, right? So now we have this post here from the player. He says, "I'm very glad and relieved to hear this, but if it is so, then I think there is one element of Lords of the Fallen 2023 that you should take a look at: the use of body type A and body type B in character creation in place of what they actually are, male and female. One of the most extreme and pervasive elements of the woke ideology behind DEI is a desire to erase and invalidate the entire concept of gender, which is this A and B framework it is a manifestation of. It would only take a small and simple patch to remove this one DEI element from Lords of the Fallen and allow players to choose between a male or a female character like you used to be the norm. You would be the hero to most gamers for doing it, hopefully setting a trend and generate considerable goodwill towards your company that would carry over to your future products. Hell, the fact that this will go viral in mostly a positive way would likely bump Lords of the Fallen sales more than enough to offset whatever man hours were paid making out the change. I know for a fact that there are some gamers who refuse to buy games that use body types in place of gender, and that group almost certainly includes some people who would otherwise have bought one of the best recent Souls-likes, and likely still would if this element were removed. I hope you read this and give it consideration, and thank you for rejecting DEI. So he responded and said, good point. Let us look deeper into that. So a lot of people thought that that was going to be it, right? That was going to be the end of it. But what Marek actually ended up doing was he actually ended up making a poll. And this is the reason why the poll exists. He says, following this response, he polled his followers in a medieval fantasy action RPG experience. What do you prefer to choose between? We will follow the final result. And the poll obviously got absolutely wrecked. If you look at this poll, it has 47,419 votes with 314,000 views, and 88.1% of people, quite frankly, chose male and female. And we all knew that was going to be the answer. We all knew that was going to be the thing. And I genuinely believe that Marek knows this, right? They knew this when they came up with Lords of the Fallen. They knew this when they designed the game, and yet they still decided to put body type A and body type B into the game, because when the game released, quite frankly, the climate was not the same. When the game released, obviously, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, everybody, they were still in charge of office, and now they know Donald Trump is going to be going into office, and I think it's very clear that the climate overall, even when you don't look at American politics, has completely changed. If you take out American politics from the conversation, it is still shifting to the other side. The pendulum is starting to swing. Hopefully, it doesn't swing too much in the other direction, but still, it belongs to in the middle where it actually belongs. Now, again, the results of this poll are not surprising. The overwhelming majority of gamers are uninterested in the lie of gender ideology being injected into video games in order to normalize the idea that there is no distinction between men and women. Now, in terms of this, I want you to see something really quick. So look at this post right here. He says, in answer to some of your questions, we are a player-first developer. This means we prioritize the wishes of our core community and audience to create the gaming experience they want to play. Evident in the 40-plus updates we have made to Lords of the Fallen, which many of which addressing core player feedback. We know immersion and escapism is one of the top reasons people play video games, especially RPGs, and we will not integrate elements into the experience that can break this, including social and political agendas that don't align with the worlds that we create. That is the first statement that made everybody go crazy. This article doesn't cover his most recent statement, but I will showcase that statement here, and this is what I wanted to cover. So after this poll, he ended up making a post that says, with over 49,000 votes, 88% of you said you prefer male and female choice. As a player-first studio, we will update Lords of the Fallen 2023 and future titles in this series accordingly. Stay tuned. So they're going to be releasing a patch that is going to change body type A and body type B back to male and female. While this is great, and this is fantastic, it also feels very performative, in my opinion. This entire thing felt like a PR stunt with the constant mentioning of player first this, player first that, whatever. I can appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but it just feels very disingenuous. It feels like this was all done to spin PR in a positive direction for this particular studio. And while I'm all for that, at the end of the day, I can't shake the feeling that this just feels fake. I don't know why, I just can't. Because ultimately, you guys must know that with this much of a large margin of 88%, you must know that your players did not want this in the first place. You must have been paying attention to the conversation that was happening over the last year plus. You must have. Because if you weren't, then that means that you purposely put this in the game knowing that people did not want this stuff. And it's very clear that you chose to do it anyway. Now, I want to be also very clear that other Souls-like games still do this too. And it's very annoying that they do, because otherwise they're not woke in any other manner, no matter how bad the gay people want to pretend like they see themselves in Dark Souls games and how it's so inherently queer-coded. They'll say that about anything successful. Let's just be honest with you. But this particular studio seems to be doing this and trying to be player-focused, or at least that's what they're trying to sell to you. Whether or not this remains to be true for this title going forward and other titles they make, I guess we'll see. But as the room starts to change, we'll see if they end up changing with the room as well. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.